Hey everybody, welcome back to the Budget Bladesman. And the blade we're going to be looking at today is a Spyderco, and more importantly, this is the Spyderco Insistent. So let's open this up and go over some of the specs. So we're looking at an overall length of 6.08 inches, a blade length of 2.48 inches, a blade thickness of 0.011 inches, so, or I'm sorry, excuse me, 0.11 inches. So it's a pretty thin stock. The Spyderco does that really well. This is you can see a full flat grind right there. We're looking at a weight of 3.7 ounces, so this is definitely over the ounce and inch line that we normally like, and you can see where the weight goes. You can see there's a full steel back spacer right there, so that's where a lot of your weight comes into play. This is a drop point style blade, or as I like to say, it's the leaf style, that Spyderco is kind of popular for, just that kind of leaf shape. This is an 8CR13 MOV steel, so if we pull this in here, see 8CR13 Spyderco, and this is a made in China knife. And if you don't know, Spyderco has several manufacturers throughout the country. They have a Chinese one, a Taiwanese one, a Japanese one, and then here one else in the United States. So this is a liner lock, as you can see here, liner lock. So we'll lock that up. And this is a tip up only, but it is ambidextrous. This is your right hand, and you can flip it over to your left hand. You can see the opening mechanism is the Spidey hole, so we can flick that open. There we go. And it has the G10 scales. And again, this is made in China, and it is a good solid ambidextrous knife. You can flip it right hand, left hand. It is a little bit on the thick side. Your price is coming right around $45. So let's bring in our comparison knives. So first of all, we have, as usual, the K-bar dozer. You can see definitely overall profile here that the dozer is, and this is a kind of your standard EDC knife here. You can see that the dozer is quite a bit bigger. But as far as thickness goes, you can tell, even though this looks about the same, they're pretty much, it's a lot thicker on this. And then we'll bring out our other normal guy, the Gerber flat iron. And you can see it's significantly different there. Almost fits in the entire length of the flat iron here. Go end to end. And then if we go sharpen blade length, you can see a pretty significant difference. All right, let's close these up. And we'll get the Spyderco here and see how it rides in the shorts. It does have a fairly deep rise pocket clip, the wire clip here. So let's see how it works. So here's our shorts. Let's get it in. And these wire clips normally slide pretty easy, as you can see right there. Get it all the way in. And it's pretty deep carry. You don't really see a whole lot of knife there. You see just a tad bit. But this is kind of a wide knife, I will say. So you definitely feel it as you go in. It's not a long profile, but it is wide, so you definitely feel it, but there is room in the pocket. All right, let's flip these inside out and see where the pocket is here. Okay, like I said, it's not a very long knife, but it is wide, so you can definitely see it take up some room this way in the pocket, but not necessarily this way. So you're still going to have plenty of room to get, front pocket wallet, multi-tool, phone, whatever the case may be. It may be a little tight for some of your bigger phones, just because of the width. Let's go ahead and pull this back out. And again, it has a thumb hole. You can flick it open that way. You can flick it open that way, even though I didn't quite get that one all the way. So let's just bring in one other knife that we reviewed before. Different Spyderco, different price bracket, but just for comparison. So you can see this is the Para 3 lightweight there. And you can see just the difference as far as, it's still different. I kind of do like on the Spydercos when they do this type of a blade shape versus their real standard ones. But you can see as far as thickness goes, it's a lot thicker this way. It's definitely heavier, which is, even though this is a much bigger knife, this is not much bigger, but it's a 1/2 inch longer on the blade. This comes in at 3 inches. This is just under 2.5 for this guy. But it definitely feels heavier in the pocket, just because that stainless steel backliner is just, makes it real heavy for a knife this size. So it is kind of thick. It is kind of chunky. It's a good knife. It's a good solid knife. It is, you know, from the Chinese factory, so bear that in mind. I do like that it is fairly deep ride. You can get this in the fifth pocket of the jeans if you choose to use this as a backup knife or a secondary knife. It is kind of on the thick side for that. So generally speaking, when I carry this, it's normally in shorts or a standalone knife. We're going to bring out another Spyderco. I haven't reviewed this one yet, but just for comparison, obviously this is the Spyderco Dragonfly 2, and this is, you know, very similar as far as length. Well, not super similar, but you can see sharpened blade length. It's pretty close. I think this one, I don't have the specs on it right here, but I think it's a little over 2 inches, and this is, you know, a little under 2.5. But as far as thickness, you can see it's just worlds apart. But again, this is a $75 knife, and this is a $45 knife. So you're kind of paying for that. You know, again, you can see that full steel backspacer there versus just, you know, an integral backspacer, if you will. Not integral, but semi-integral. Anything there is, you can kind of see the seam in there if you look. So that's, I mean, really, this is where you're paying for the difference. Is it has that stainless steel backspacer. Not to my knowledge, I don't know that they make aftermarket backspacers. I think if this is a knife you do like, maybe that's something you should research and see. Maybe you can cut some of the weight down, because other than being heavy for this size, it's a pretty good knife. I mean, it's, you know, ACR 13, which is okay steel. You know, it's not the worst, it's not the greatest. It's kind of in that middle range for a budget option. It's like 8 AUS 8 or AUSA 8, however you want to say it. So I mean, it is you know, on the smaller side for EDC carry, but it is kind of thick and chunky, so you just have to bear that in mind. If this is a design you like, then I think you're really going to like this knife. But if it's an issue, then maybe this is something you want to, you know, go past. Maybe you'll get the Cold Steel Tough Light or Tough Light Mini. Tough Light is pretty much in the same ballpark as this, but significantly lighter, because it has just their fancy plastic basically handles. It doesn't have any of the steel like this does. I mean, this is definitely a heavy duty knife for as small it is. So you might want to keep that into consideration, that, you know, it's going to be a pretty stout knife for you. So, you know, just a couple things on this knife real quick, and hope you enjoy it, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.